Good morning. So the irony is not lost on me, and it's kind of humorous actually, the way the world works. But I'm always telling my people that to always look up and aim up and all that. Well, I just got this septic job going here, and it's just about done. And my perspective was to always look up, and I looked up at these trees. Everything looked good when I started the job, but now that I've got it almost finished, I take another perspective at looking up after the neighbor was over the fence and telling me that, what are you going to do about these dead trees? And we discover that there's 4 dead trees right here, right next to my septic tank that I just put in. So I've got to follow those trees today. Kind of ironic, after I get the job almost finished, then I've got to follow these trees. There's one here, 2, 3, and 4, all right there. But I'm pretty sure, well, I know that I can lay them out in this direction and lay them over this trench. I have built these berms over the piles, or over the septic tank, so that I can protect it if something goes awry. But I'm pretty sure I can lay them in the right direction and not hurt anything, so that's what we're going to do this morning. In fact, I'm so sure of my abilities here we go, that I'm going to set the camera up right on the septic tank. So I'll take you guys out if I mess up and don't get these in the right direction. So I decided to use my little battery saw. Actually, it's a fairly good sized battery saw to fall these trees. And well, it's a nice saw for limbing and bucking and whatnot, but the power is all wrong for finessing a tree down, and I do believe it got to me later on in this video. There's one. Now here's where I'm not used to the type of power on this little saw, and I cut right through the hinge, which I know a lot better to do, because this is what happens when you cut through the hinge. That went wrong. Yeah, I cut it off too much. Whew. Oh well, it ended up not hurting anything. So on a small tree like this, it's best to go ahead and put your back cut in and then get a wedge in, being as how you don't have room for your bar in your back cut to put a wedge in later. You go ahead and do that, and then you put your undercut in and finesse it over with the wedge. Well, that one went where I wanted it to, and it's kind of funny that every time I drop one of these trees, with all the chickens in the background start squawking. Now this one is going to be a bit sketch. It's leaning back, not in a good way. I've got to put it right between these two trees where it could hang up for sure. It's got to go right through there. So my plan is to put in a back cut first, put the wedge in, and then put my undercut in, and then give it a nudge in the way it needs to go. I'm gonna heavy turn it towards this tree. There's a lot of foliage up there. Let's see how that works out. Okay, I got my back cut in. The wedge started in it. Here's where I hang the tree up. It went on the wrong side. It went on the right side of that little tree and hung up in the branches up there instead of over where it was supposed to. And now I'm in a pickle. I can't really believe that I got away with all those missteps. I had two trees that didn't go exactly where I wanted. They went the alternate path, and that'll work. But yeah, I would have liked that to have turned out a little better, but a little off today. My perspective must be wrong. I didn't look up enough. Anyway, that's that. We'll get these out of here. None of my septic system got damaged. That's the main thing. So we got her done. Got to get these logs out. Here we go.